Hi everybody, and welcome to today's lesson on comparing unit fractions with different size models. Now, if you don't have any fraction bars or fraction tiles to play with, one way to do fractions is to draw a tape diagram. Now, it doesn't really matter which way you choose to do it. I tend to do my tape diagrams like rectangles this way. But I need to make both of them the exact same size and length when I make them. So if I was going to compare two fractions, like let's say I'm going to compare 1/3 to 1/8, I have my holes started out and they're the exact same size. So if I'm going to compare 1/3, I'm going to need to draw my fraction bar so that it's in 3 pieces because my denominator tells me the whole that I'm dealing with. So I'm going to very carefully try to make it as equal as possible. It's a little bit off here, but that's okay. So then I'm going to shade in 1/3 of my fraction bar. So there's my 1/3 here. Now my next one is I'm going to compare it to 1/8. So this is my denominator. My 8 tells me how many pieces I am going to divide it into. I need to divide it into 8 equal pieces. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I need to shade in 1/8 of that. Oops, it's a little messy, but all right. So when I'm comparing my fractions, I'm looking at 1/3 compared to 1/8. When I'm looking at them, I can tell that 1/3, this one is greater because more is shaded in. So if you don't have fraction tiles or a computer handy when you're comparing fractions, one way to do this is to draw a picture of a fraction bar. So I'm going to do another one as an example. So if I'm comparing unit fractions, I'm going to do it a little bit bigger this time. I'm going to do 1/5 compared to 1/2. So I'm going to draw my fraction bars, try to get them as equally as possible. So this one tells me I'm going to be dividing my fraction bar or my tape diagram into 5 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little off, but we're going to leave it for right now. This one tells, I'm going to color in. My numerator tells me how many pieces to color in. So I'm going to color in 1 piece of that. Now, this one is 1/2. So I'm going to divide this into 2 pieces because my denominator tells me that I have divided my whole into 2 pieces. Then I'm going to look at my numerator and shade in 1/2 of that. So I can look at this and I can say, if I'm looking at the shaded pieces, 1/5 is less than 1/2. So I'm going to erase those. Now, sometimes they give you a little bit more of a challenging unit fraction to deal with. So we're going to try something a little different. So this time we're going to try 5/8 and compare it to 2/6. So I want my fraction bars to be as close in size as I can make them. So here we go. Or my tape diagrams. I call them fraction bars when I do fractions, but when I'm doing tape diagrams, I call them tape diagrams, but they're basically the same thing. So they're as close in size as I can make them. So now I need to divide this one into 8 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to shade in my 5 pieces because my denominator said to split it into 8 pieces, but I'm looking at how much 5/8 looks like. So 3, 4, and 5. So that's 5/8. Now I'm going to divide this fraction bar into 6ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, and then I'm going to shade in 2 of those pieces because that's what we're working with is 2/6 of this. Now, when I want to compare them, they're pretty similar, but clearly 5/8 is going to be greater than 2/6. So you can use fraction tiles. You can to compare fractions. You can use tape diagrams to compare unit fractions. Whatever you feel most comfortable with. If you don't have the tiles or the web page to deal with, drawing out fraction bars like this is a great way to compare fractions. All right. Thank you guys for joining me for today.